I know what I'm about to say is going to make a lot of people upset. I know that this is a movie that a lot of people want to crap on because it kept out the controversies and other stuff that happened later towards the end of this man's life. But here's the thing. First of all, I don't know who would actually want to watch that in a movie that's supposed to be celebrating the man. So, yeah, that. And two, they apparently did film over that because they had like over 4 hours of footage. But unfortunately, due to legal tape, they were unable to include it in this movie as much as they wanted to. So, they're working out with the legal stuff right now to get all of that more than likely implemented in some way into part 2. So, I'm not going to hold against this movie for that. And despite me being a filthy casual when it comes to the actual life and stuff of Michael Jackson, I do know the songs, I do know how much he means to people, and I know that this was easily a lot of people's most anticipated film of this year, if not one of. And yeah, it was mine too, because even though I didn't really know much about him as a person, I was really excited to check it out, not to mention hearing that his own nephew, Jafar, was going to be playing him in the biopic, was a vote of confidence that, you know, this was a very competently made movie and it wasn't going to be treated like a cash grab. Now, unfortunately for most people, especially those on RT, which I am starting to think just hate fun at this point, absolutely thrashed the movie, giving it a rotten score and giving it reviews that are far below what people expected. And not only that, but this is the second time this has happened this year, because the first was Mario Galaxy. Well, I'm here to tell you that they were wrong about Mario Galaxy, and they were especially wrong about this one. Because even though I didn't know a ton about Michael Jackson going into the film, and from what I've heard, it is a Cliff Notes version of his story. They did cut some things out. I had a blast with this film. And this is probably going to be one of my most positive, super high praised movies of the year. It's not a masterpiece, it does have some problems, but they're minor. And it's honestly people just whining over the most inconspicuous things. So, yeah, if you're coming in here to see me tear this movie apart, you're at the wrong review. There's the door, go find somewhere else to whine. But for everyone else, especially those that also got to experience it in a theater, just like me, and got that incredible, incredible experience, let's press onward, shall we, as we pay tribute to the king. What's up, what's happening, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, your animation station for anything and everything, including TV and movies. I am your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to my review, my spoiler-free review, don't worry, I'm not gonna go over the story and stuff like that, of Michael, the newest musical biopic. Now, with these movies in particular, I'm kind of hit or miss. There are some I really like and some I really don't. I loved Straight Outta Compton, I really liked Rocket Man, I enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody even if I thought it was a little bit overrated, and I really did not like Walk the Line, the one that was made about Johnny Cash. That thing was one of the worst biopics I've ever seen. Even though as a movie it was just fine. So, yeah, when it comes to biopic movies, I'm usually very hit or miss with it. Sometimes they're really good, and other times they just don't really work. And other times they try to make like a parody of one, like, I don't know if any of you remember this, but there's a Johnny Cash parody movie called Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story, starring John C. Reilly. Was not a fan of that one, even though I knew that was supposed to be a comedy, a parody comedy that didn't take itself too seriously. But, I don't know, that movie just never sat right with me. I don't know, it never was for me. There were a few funny jokes, but it wasn't for me. So, going into this one, not to mention being about the king of pop, there was definitely expectation that they would do justice to the man, they would do justice to his story, and they would especially do justice to the classic, iconic music that we all know and love. Even though I grew up in a time where Michael's time had passed by that point, both literally and figuratively, I still knew most of the songs. I know Beat It, I know Billie Jean, I still adore Thriller. Like, that is one of my favorite songs of all time. I love Bad, I like some of the Jackson 5 stuff, even if I think their Christmas stuff is a little overrated. Just a personal taste thing. So, this movie was my way of learning more or less about the man himself, or at least half of his story. How he was abused by his father to, have this perfectionism about himself, and then slowly but surely breaking away from his father to strike out on his own. And that's the main bulk of this particular movie. It's about starting with the Jackson 5 era, going through the Off the Wall era, all the way up to ending with the first concert he got to do by himself. The first tour he got to do by himself. And they do cover a decent bit, but they also leave out more than a few things, at least from what I've heard from other, like, die-hard Michael Jackson fans that know everything about the man. So, yeah. This is definitely coming from the viewing experience of a casual, not a super mega fan, so please keep that in mind before you start attacking me in the comment section, like, they should have included this, they should have included that, they didn't include the controversy, blah, 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 blah. I already told you, if you were setting that expectation, you were going in with the wrong expectation, so there's the door, leave, take your whining somewhere else. As for the rest of you, here's my written review for Michael and why I think it is easily one of the best movies of the year so far. I hope you enjoy. I already know that no matter what words come out of my mouth, that it's going to upset either side of this movie's very divisive reception. So allow me to preference some things straight up front before I even discuss the film itself. While I know all the classic music due to cultural osmosis, as well as Moonwalker on Sega Genesis thanks to Angry Video Game Nerd, and of course his very well documented and well known involvement in the soundtrack for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I'm as casual as it comes in regards to the man's actual story. So when I heard that he was getting a new biographical feature film, especially one starring his own nephew Jafar Jackson, I immediately made sure to put it into the anticipated category for the year's scheduled films. As in the scheduled films that I plan to review. Though, I will admit the negative reviews coming out frightened me at first, because I thought, oh no, they didn't do justice to it, and everyone in the Jackson family got suckered into supporting it. Aside of Janet Jackson, who apparently pulled out of it because she didn't like the direction it was going in. I don't know, it's a complicated thing. But I'm delighted to say that the critics at RT, who I'm starting to think are just paid shills at this point, that just say whatever the money tells them to say, got it wrong for a second time this year, because despite being a casual, I absolutely loved this one. Jafar is spectacular as the man himself, capturing both the energy and heart with so much unbridled charisma. Seriously, Jafar Jackson is incredible in this movie. Like, what an amazing breakout performance for this guy. Seriously, he better be getting an Oscar nomination, because man, does he deserve it. I will throw a freaking riot if this man doesn't get at least a nomination. Like, if he loses the actual ceremony itself, fine, whatever. The Academy Awards are a joke anyway. But if he doesn't get at least a nomination, despite doing all this incredible hard work and research to get this role as right as he possibly could, I will throw a freaking riot. Just saying. Like, love or hate this movie, he deserves an Oscar nomination. The songs are just as great as ever, especially when Jafar gets to show off his own vocal talent. Like, yeah, there are some moments where they dub it over with the actual vocals from Michael from the original archives, but the moments that he does get to sing himself are very, very good. He's got his own very impressive set of pipes that do a great job mirroring his late uncle in all the best of ways. Not to the point of, like, imitation, but to the point of, doing the songs justice. and they are by far the biggest parts of the movie. As it should be, it's a musical biopic. Colman Domingo is great as the film's monstrous antagonist Joe Jackson. This was my first time learning about how Michael's father was apparently an absolutely vile human being. And not only was learning that heartbreaking, but also it led me to realize just how amazing Colman Domingo's performance is. Like, if Jafar doesn't get a nomination, I hope Colman Domingo does. Because despite playing the vile antagonist of this movie, he does such an amazing job playing this vile antagonist. There's a reason why him and Jafar are both getting equally praised, despite the people that are trying to crap on this movie. Pacing is excellent, balancing speed with storytelling. Yes, as I said before, doing research after I watched it, they did leave a few chunks out here and there are a few things that they didn't really elaborate on that much, but they got the basic stuff that they needed to. And since the movie has a faster pace than most biopics, it made it a lot easier to, to sit through, to be invested in, because it's just like here. It's hitting all the beats. I wouldn't say it's all the necessary beats, because again, like I said, doing research afterwards, they did cut out a few things. Like, I do wish that they had a scene of Michael wanting to perform in Brazil and having to, interacting with the cartel leader of Brazil from back then, because for those of you that don't know the story, I'll tell you this one little tidbit. This is the one little real bit that I'll tell you that's not in the movie. There was a time when Michael wanted to perform in Brazil, but everyone really did not want him to because, that country's infested with crime and they didn't want to put him in danger. Perfectly valid reasoning. But here's how great Michael really was as both a person and a performer. The leader of the Brazilian cartel from back then loved him so much that he made sure to guarantee Michael's safety, called a ceasefire on all the cartel stuff for one entire day, just so Michael could come out, visit the country, and shoot the music video that he wanted to shoot. It's a really amazing little piece of human storytelling that I wish was in the movie. Like, after learning about that afterwards, I'm like, bro, that should have been in the movie. That is a damn good moment. But even though it's not in the movie, it did actually happen. And it is an incredible moment. Seriously, you can go look it up if you want to know more about it. Really amazing moment. I wish they included it in the movie, but honestly, that's just a nitpick because they did hit all the beats that they needed to, even if they didn't cover every single little detail. Seeing Michael's story for the first time was inspiring and informative. I know that a lot of people are dogging on this movie because it's apparently according to them, it's regurgitating information that people already knew about. I get that, but that doesn't mean you should completely discredit the hard work people are putting into this movie to recreate those moments that you've heard about already. That's just my take on it. Like, yeah, it's a bit of a regurgitation, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Not to mention, probably most of the current generation doesn't really know about Michael Jackson, so this is the way of them learning about the man on top of the music that they hear their parents jamming out to all the time. Just saying, there's a purpose behind everything here. Rest of the acting is also really good. I like the people that played the rest of the Jackson 5. I really like who they got to play Michael's mother. And I especially really like the bodyguard in this movie, who, in a way, becomes Michael's only actual human friend outside of family. He is a genuinely great character. I really enjoyed his interactions back and forth with Michael, and it felt so natural. That's the way I'm going to put it. It felt so natural, the two of them interacting off of each other. The recreations of the original performances in music videos was amazing. Like, you could tell they put in a lot of hard work to make sure that every single little detail from the original music and music videos that they're recreating here was done full justice. From the Jackson 5 stuff to the Jacksons to the Off the Wall era and Thriller and all that stuff. Now, granted, I wish they spent a little more time on Thriller than they did, but that's just my own personal bias because that's my personal favorite Michael song. Just my own personal little bit in there. It doesn't really bother me, it's something I couldn't help but notice. And the big final performance of the movie that ends the film off, it is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Minus the bad CGI crowd, but it's like a blink and you'll miss a moment. Runtime is perfect at 110 minutes. It's not too long, it's not too short, it's not too fast, it's not too slow. It is all just perfect all the way through. And rewatchability is very high. As someone who wants to now do a deeper dive on Michael Jackson and his discography and his life and all that, now that this movie has gotten me so interested, I can see myself rewatching this movie a lot going forward. Like, whenever I want a fun, entertaining biopic, I'm going to pick this one more than probably any of them. Even in comparison to, again, Straight Outta Compton and Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man and all those. Sure, the writing is a bit basic. Like, you're not gonna get, like, the most incredible writing ever here, but you are still gonna get some really good moments because the acting is so good. And it's more so of a tribute rather than a complete deep dive, hence why they don't go into the controversies and stuff that happened later towards the end of his life. But since they've already confirmed a part 2 to tell the rest of the story, it doesn't bother me at all. Now, obviously, they're going to have to go through a lot of legal stuff. Like, there's apparently even rumors that they won't be able to get the same director back because he's working on his own film, and they want part 2 out within the next year or two. Yeah, Lionsgate, Universal, slowly roll and just let them cook. Okay? Slowly roll, let them cook, and don't rush it. If you rush it, you are going to pay dearly for it. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, a music lover, or just enjoy biographical feature films, I can easily recommend this one. It's a definite crowd pleaser, and no doubt Michael himself would be proud of this amazing achievement of moonwalking magnificence. And on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and end this review. Final verdict for Michael, in my personal opinion, is a high, well-deserved moonwalking on brilliance, 9 out of 10. Yes, a lot of it's carried by the performances. Yes, a lot of it is because it was my first time learning about some of these things. But it is so damn good. Like, if you have not seen this movie, you need to. I can easily recommend you buying a ticket and going to see it. See it with your friends, see it as a date with your significant other, see it with your family. Just go see it. In any way you can possibly go see it, go see it. It is absolutely worth your time, and I'm so happy that it's already one of the highest grossing biopics of all time. It is easily well deserved, and no doubt the king himself is smiling down from heaven. And with that, that's going to be the end of this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this every single day. Feel free to hit the hype button down below to get us higher up in the algorithm if you so desire. You don't have to. It would just help the channel out greatly if you do. And of course, leave your thoughts and opinions on this down below. On Michael Jackson, on his music, on what it means to you, on your personal thoughts of this movie, on what you think they should have put in this movie that wasn't in the movie. Leave it all down below. I'd love to read your comments. Just please be civil about it. That's all I ask. Be civil. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go suffer through Devil Wears Prada 2 now. That way I can cross another one off the list. And more than likely have another contender for the worst list. So, I'm going to go endure that torture now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. Peace.